Welcome all. This is Joel Hoxley and David Washington.
Good morning.
And this is You Can't Make This Shit Up.
All right.
We are here in the Oxford. Thank you very much, Oxford. The secret society. You know, it's our sports pub. It's really, say it backwards. You know, I did that right. But today, the reason I think I just wanted to start, David, is because this topic is like really making my skin crawl because I don't see it the same way that you may see it.
Well, let's jump into it. I think there's nuance to the numbers. I think you and I, well, they don't.
You know
They
what you're
don't.
talking about. They don't.
So what we're talking about are the recent unemployment numbers and data that just came out about a week ago, stating that the Biden economy is doing well. And despite this soft recession that we're having and the inflation that we're seeing, for the most part, the Biden economy is doing well. And what's been stated in the June BLS jobs report is that there were a net of about 340,000 new jobs, 432,000 with upward revisions from previous months. So that was something that was unexpected.
Well, no, it's not unexpected.
Well,
How many people have been still getting employed since COVID?
well, wait, let me get into the numbers a
Okay,
little bit
go
more.
ahead.
All right,
I'm
so
gonna sit here and I'm going to act like I'm angry.
there are 33.8 million jobs during the 16 years of Clinton and Obama, 13.1 million jobs in the 28 months of Biden. And then there was a recorded 1.9 million jobs in the 16 years of Bush, and Trump.
Well, now,
And so,
Bush,
wait,
and
let me
Trump-
let you want me to talk about the numbers.
Okay.
So let me set the stage here.
Okay.
And so the Biden economic track record has been very strong, according to some analysts. The GDP growth over 3%, 3 times what it was under Trump. Remember, we did have the recession caused by the COVID-19. Almost 7 times as many Biden jobs as the last 3 GOP presidents combined. The best COVID recovery among the G7 nations. So these are the top economic powerhouses in the world. The lowest unemployment rate in peacetime economies since World War II, lowest poverty uninsured rates ever, very elevated wage gains, new business starts, almost 2 job openings per unemployed person, real earnings up in 2022. The deficit went up every year under Trump and has come down every year under Biden. And I think you have to take into consideration the COVID-19 payments and also the Trump tax cuts to the rich during his term. Domestic oil production on track to set records in 2023. On track to set records
On track
in
because he's
2023.
he's not
And
doing it right.
historic investments in our future prosperity, infrastructure, chips, climate, healthcare. So that's the stage that some analysts have set for the Biden economy so far.
No, this is exactly what we can't compare apples and oranges and think that, oh, the Bush, and Trump, you take Bush, and you take Trump out, you take out COVID.
Well,
If you take out COVID, those numbers beat these numbers. So
we'll try not to. We'll
some
try not
crunching.
to
What happened is
take into
COVID-
account that Trump was president then.
We're going to talk about the fact that COVID-19, this country, some states decided to shut everything down. We lost a ton of jobs. Those all counted against, we had unemployment down. We had more African Americans working. We had more Hispanics working under the Trump administration until COVID came along, and all that was lost. All those jobs lost, and they're still recovering. So of course you got a job. You know, people are getting jobs finally. But the money incentives to stay home are gone. They're not staying home anymore. They don't get the free unemployment that was extended and extended and extended. I don't care which administration did it. We printed so much money. That's why we have inflation out of control. Bacon is ridiculous. Thank God I don't eat it now.
So you would so you would make the same point if there was a Republican president.
Absolutely. See, that's the thing about me. I always believe that the economy you're working in is not your economy. When Bush said no new taxes, he said no new taxes. But it was inevitable. Even the best of economists knew that he would have to negotiate and raise taxes. It didn't matter if it was 1%, it didn't matter what it was. Your economy has certain things that you have to do, certain things you have to tweak. But now we have to try to come up with all this extra money that we keep printing. And it seems like, I guess, it doesn't matter how much we print because nobody knows that it's destroying our economy. And why should my great grandchildren have to pay back what we're doing today?
We're paying back what was borrowed during the Civil War. So
No, we're done there.
So most right. Thanks to Clinton, he got rid of the deficit. But anyway, we both understand economics and things ebb and flow. It just seems like when there's a Democrat in office like Biden, he's doing what's necessary to prevent the economy from going into a hard recession, preventing the world economy. And we are more of a world economy now than we are just a national economy, to keep up, to still continue to be the leader, for the American dollar to be the standard. And so, if it was a terrible report, of course, this is just human nature. Conservatives will jump down Biden's throat. However, because people are employed, people are starting businesses, that things are not as difficult as they are. Wait, because things are not as difficult as they could be.
No,
you have to give the administration for not sinking the economy, or keeping it in the depths that it was in after Trump.
Again, David, this is not the point. How are people feeling? How are people? Why is it that Biden can't beat anybody but Trump in these polls? I mean, I know it's early, but still, you if you're such a cuddly teddy bear and you're doing such a great job, listen. The entire time Trump was in office, I don't care what he did, he never got complimented. They never ever would mention the fact that Black unemployment was down to the lowest it's ever been, that Hispanics were at record, heights.
So using your logic,
so I'm seeing that all that was going on, and now we're going to forget about COVID, but we're going to use COVID to our advantage. We'll say we have the best recovery, but we'll also say all those jobs that were lost, you can't just, okay, well, let's balance this out. Come on.
So using your logic,
inflated.
Using your logic, this is the Trump economy working itself out. So the Obama economy that Trump inherited and was lowering Black unemployment at the time, and unemployment was going down and inflation was in check, that could be contributed to the Obama administration. We could do this all day long.
I'm not going to
attributed to the previous president. Contributed to the previous president. If we're following that argument.
Yes, because look at Andrew Jackson. Andrew Jackson hands over his administration.
Get your history books out.
Andrew Jackson hands over his administration to Martin Van Buren. What happens to Martin Van Buren? Very smart guy, very good with the economy. He did the best he could, but we went into a huge recession. He simply got beat by the dollars that his predecessor had spent.
Okay,
So it's the same thing.
so we can fast forward to 2023 again. Let's Trump during the Trump term, we had COVID-19 and it crushed our economy. Okay, was that beyond his control? Of course it was not. He helped contribute to the mess. Now, Biden inherited that part of his economy, which was at its lowest. At its lowest. Were we rebounding? Yes. But not to the extent that we were, I would say 2 years ago or a year ago. You do have to give credit to Biden for at least maintaining a fiscal policy that did not send us into a deep recession, into depression. Again, the housing crisis, the stock market crisis in 2008, when the crisis that Obama inherited from Bush. You have to give credit to the Obama administration in its fiscal policy to keep the markets safe, steady, and keep people in their jobs, in their homes.
See, David, I don't have.
We were facing an existential crisis, financial crisis, and we had to bail out the banks for that.
You feel all good about this?
I feel okay about it.
It's exactly what I say. You know, you don't work in your own economy unless you do 2 terms. Look.
But you have to look at the fact that we were looking at a world recession.
Clinton signs legislation.
Like it didn't exist.
That opens up the housing market to people to get loans that they can't afford to pay back. He signs this legislation. Nobody pays attention to it because it's a great thing because now people are moving in their houses. But the mortgage industry decides, since there's government money available, there's government protection available, guess what we're going to do? We're going to push the envelope. And then that all comes crashing down when Bush is in office. So who got creamed for it? Bush. Bush did things that no Republican would have done. There are people in the Republican Party that hate the Bushes and everything else because of what they did to save.
Except for Ron DeSantis' team.
We just have to look. We just have to look and say, these numbers, I give him credit, but these are not normal numbers. That's what I have a problem with. These are inflated numbers because almost everybody was unemployed. Do you know this? 50% of our businesses are empty because people are still working from home. They're actually giving incentives from Google to get people to come into office 3 days a week. These are problems.
We are in a new economy. People are working from home. People are working from home in Spain when their job is in California. I mean, this is a new economy now. As with the advent of commercial use of artificial intelligence, we are looking at the transformation, and this is what COVID did. It ushered in a transformation of how we go about business, how we do business.
Shutting down the world
saved my ass.
Has a whole lot.
Saved my ass. I'm alive today because precautions were made.
You say that.
Yes.
You say that
confidently.
But you could have done your own precautions.
I did.
And you didn't have to have the government tell you what to do.
You know, I didn't have to have the government tell me what to do. However, I did want the government to protect me, protect my loved ones, the people I care for, the people I work with, society in general, and do the right thing and end this massive threat of COVID-19. People were dying.
You know what? The
dying. I worked in hospitals since I was 17, 16, 15. Volunteered.
So this is the first time we decided to intervene.
It's stressful.
It's the first time we've ever intervened at this level for a disease.
Oh, didn't we do it in about 100 years ago for influenza? I think there were precautions,
Oh, the common
masks,
cold,
things like that.
the
Yeah,
common cold. Yeah,
a strain of influenza that killed a lot of people. But carry
COVID,
on,
COVID.
and we'll
It's the same
see. We'll
thing.
see more of these strains of influenza, COVID, whatever.
Listen,
And I still take precautions.
that's fine. I'd say do do the precautions, David. I have no problem with that. But I do have a problem when the government tells you what to do and you say we're in a free society. Both Republicans and Democrats that take a stand. And you hear me on this show all the time say you can't make this shit up because Republicans are doing things they never did before. And it's like, well, why are they leaving the nest?
Freedoms,
Why are they doing these things? Well,
freedoms, like the ones that
no,
were taken under Patriot Act 1 and Patriot Act 2. Our freedoms are long gone.
okay, well,
I think Americans need to be very aware that you've got no freedoms, folks, none. And plus,
well,
with the hospitals full with people who were on respirators and ill and sick and with COVID, and if I were to injure myself, I had to go to the hospital and know that there was very little room for me. That just doesn't make sense. The stress on our economy, on our public that COVID caused required some type of intervention. It required an intervention on the scale of what we saw worldwide.
no, it didn't.
I agree. It
No,
did. I agree that it did.
The problem in the United States is that too many people have diabetes, too many people have asthma, too many people have.
Yeah, but they're not dying in the numbers and
should be
at the rate that
They
COVID-19,
they should be.
those afflicted with COVID-19 had.
There's a natural thing that you should be responsible for what you do. If you want to start taxing people up in New York because they're drinking soda and they're getting diabetes and it's costing your city a lot of money, that's a problem, right? That's a problem right there. So why would you want to protect that person? And I mean, I'm being far away from my own opinion, but look, we haven't had a major war, and a major war wipes out a lot of people.
Just proxy wars.
And so do
every 20 years.
So do
we're involved in some type of conflict.
So does COVID. So does disease. And disease, well, it was wiping out old people. I'm sorry. Old people. We have people live a whole lot longer now.
And young people.
Okay. And then young people that were getting affected had issues. They should have been taking precautions in the first
Survival of the fittest. There it is. But you have to recognize that Biden prevented this economy from slipping further into depression, recession, whatever you want to call it. And it also this economy maintains its standing in the world community. Are there some nuances to all this? Of course there are nuances. Of course.
So,
however, the larger picture is we're not in a depression.
Correct.
That businesses are operating. New businesses have been started. Yep. We have transformed our economy.
Correct. And when the Russians and the Chinese get together, when the Russians and the Chinese are now friendly, we're having a proxy war with Russia. And you think the dollar is going to stay the currency of the world?
Yes.
No, I don't see it.
There's about
I don't see it.
$100 plus trillion dollars
I see China,
of assets.
I see China
in the American dollar. Where are they going to go? To the French franc?
No, they're going to go to
the ruble.
They're going to go to the ruble or the
yen with social credits and stuff like that. No.
Oh yes, they will.
$100 trillion plus dollars, U.S. dollars invested
David,
worldwide.
1 second.
That money is not going anywhere. The U.S. dollar is fine.
I just let you compliment
You're
Biden.
okay.
Listen, I just let you compliment Biden.
Not Biden, the economy.
No, you said the economy. The economy will tank if this war continues
Mhm.
with out of Ukraine. This where warships come 150 feet. Chinese warships come 150 feet
Mhm.
from our Navy,
Mhm.
and and aircraft are now, taking pot shots and being close to our. Listen, they're pushing this whole Thailand thing.
Taiwan.
Taiwan thing.
Yeah.
So I misspoke. It's incredible. Like this aggression is getting out of control, and we have to defend them. We have to. We have an obligation to defend them. Now, what's that? Is that they attack them just so they can attack us? That could be the case. And China's being more aggressive. So, David, the economy is at a very, very, very tipping point right now. And yes, we're recovering, and I give you credit. I'll take you. Oh, Biden has done all these different things.
Yes.
He's also printed so much money that it can't withstand it.
Yes, the economy
will
is
not be able to
flushed.
withstand it.
The economy is flush, was flush with a lot of money, and that's why interest rates are going up. It's a little bit more expensive. It's expensive to borrow money, and so that's what you have to do. There are layoffs. Yes, that's what's happening. There are lots of layoffs in the tech industry. However, the tech industry is a very small percentage of the economy as a whole. There is still a need for hospitality services, healthcare services, teaching, social services, things like that, sales, things like that. It's still a thriving economy. Remember, 2 jobs for every one unemployed person. We need
3
to invest.
jobs for every
we need
person
to,
that is employed.
We need to invest into a broad range of education, not just college education, but also internships and what's the other one? Apprenticeships,
How about
things like that, and
David,
also investment
how about the
into
fact that
tech.
how about the fact that Biden printed so much money, or our government? I'm not going to.
Yeah, that's what that way. Our government
printed
did
so much money.
Yes,
that inflation was so high that more people have to have additional jobs just to make sure they put food on the table. And I'm telling you,
or
the
they've cut
job
back.
market is a false positive when you think about. I'm counting somebody 3 times, and any administration, they need to come up with a system where they can truly monitor the the GDP. It's just for right now. You're right. My, it's Biden can have all the kudos, and the media can do whatever they want, but we need to do something also. You can't just be the president of the United States economy and watch us destroy ourselves in Ukraine. And
I don't think we're in the Ukraine. Militarily, we're not in the Ukraine.
The money
However,
that we're spending over there's
a lot of money, and it's
and the equipment we're
it's a
sending
proxy
over there.
war. It's a proxy war.
We're sending equipment over there. They're
Sure.
not paying for it. We're sending money over there. There's no accountability for it. I mean, this is the things that, okay.
But it's keeping people employed.
Oh yeah. plus, I mean,
the military industrial
and
complex is doing well.
Boeing, all these companies are thriving.
And to speak to the military spending, what we're spending on the military is absurd.
Every cent is.
It is
worth
no.
Every cent that you
it is
spend
absurd.
on your military,
we should be spending
because. Somebody just got the cup. Every dollar we're spending.
Wait, let me finish.
No. I'm going to say every
you're going to be shocked
spending
about what I'm about to say because it's repeating what I said a week or so ago. It's absurd what we're spending on the military. We should be spending far more on the military, seeing the threats that are out there as far as China, Russia.
That's why I'm saying, David.
And terrorist organizations. We should be spending far more in targeted areas, in personnel, and in our veterans.
We
surprised.
No,
I said it. I said it.
Look, I think the UN is a different story. But I think what we're talking about here with the economy is, yes, Biden, pat yourself on the back, but get your foreign policy in line, because it is making a lot of people worried. A lot of people are looking at the relationship between China and Russia as an absolute warning sign.
Sure.
Because if you actually look at history, Biden has no good foreign policy, and Biden has made every foreign policy decision he's made has failed, and that was what Obama said about him. So thank you very much. This is You Can't Make This Shit Up.
I'm David. That's Joel. We're J&W. God bless. Subscribe. Hit the notification button. This is who we are.